Ask Reddit. What are you addicted to that is perfectly legal? Buying video games and never playing them. Steam thanks you for your service. There's an item on your wish list that's on sale for a penny. Buy it now so you can put off playing it until 2045. Going back to sleep after I wake up. Turning off your alarm and then laying back down is a very dangerous game. Yes, this shit is ruining my self-esteem and life. To enjoy the peace and quiet that comes at 1 a.m. I just read a term for the detrimental version of this recently. Revenge bedtime procrastination. It is especially seen when a person feels they do not get personal time or have lack of control in their life. Yeah, this is the one I most relate with. I've been finding myself staying up later and later, and I hate it. Lately I've been getting to sleep around 7 to 8 a.m. I take care of a parent all day. At night when they're in bed is the only time I have to myself to just focus on whatever it is I want to focus on. It started with me staying up until 2 a.m., then 3 a.m., 4 a.m., and so on. I keep telling myself I'll go to bed earlier, but when it actually comes time to do that, I just want to stay up longer and longer, just because the lack of anything going on is so nice. Edit. I didn't expect this to get so much attention, so I'll just give a disclaimer that my intention with this wasn't to complain so much as to commiserate with someone on the feeling of being addicted to late-night solitude. Since I didn't intend to go into much detail about the help I give, and just described it as taking care of a parent all day, I get why some people are confused as to how I can go to sleep as late as 8 a.m. and still help them, so I'll talk about that a little more. For starters, 7 to 8 a.m. is the worst my schedule gets, and that's what it has been the past few days, but it's not the norm. I'd say on average I get to sleep around 4 to 6 a.m. and wake up around 9 to 10 a.m. My mom has cerebral palsy. She is wheelchair-bound but can still do quite a bit on her own. So, it's not like I'm by her side 24/7, helping her with simple things like moving room to room, or anything like that. But I am available to her all day as she needs me. I get her in and out of bed, prepare meals, take care of laundry, take her to appointments, stuff like that, and anything in between that she might need help with throughout the day, per week, per month, per year. There are still things she can do on her own. For example, if she just wants some food that doesn't require any prep, like some yogurt or cereal, she can get it out of the fridge, pantry on her own if it's in her reach. So, there are really only 2 times per day that she will always, without a doubt, require help: in the morning after waking up, and at night when going to bed. I also make dinner for her basically every night. Between all of that, I do have time for midday naps, which I've been taking very often lately. However, there's no guarantee that I won't be woken up from those. So long as she's awake, there's no guarantee I'll be able to sit down and focus on anything for an extended period. I am always keeping an ear out for her in case she is trying to get my attention, be it casually mentioning that she needs help with the TV, or yelling for me that her wheelchair is stuck on something in her bedroom. That's a huge part of the appeal of nighttime for me. I can actually just sit down and listen to music without worrying about not hearing her calling for me, for example. During the day, there are no guarantees that I'll have long periods of free time without her requiring help. But at night, I do have that guarantee, barring some very rare circumstances, and that's what makes the nighttime so appealing. I love how different the world feels at night. It's completely changed. Strange. That's exactly why I wake up at 5 a.m. around and never getting anything done. My dream is to be horizontal most of the time. Shush. The question asks about you, not me. Yep. I drove 20 minutes to meet a friend at Target and help her pick out glasses. Just so I can get my ass out of bed. Otherwise I'd just lay around all day. The struggle is real. Update: she's not even listening to my opinions. It's all about the tech's opinions. At least I'm out of bed. Procrastination. We will surely beat it one day. It's the most perfect day to start any job tomorrow. Most marvelous day that was ever invented. Why, there's absolutely nothing a man can't do tomorrow. The best thing about us procrastinators is leaving something for months, stressed off the roof, done in 10 minutes just before the deadline, and people still say it's good, so yeah, now, why change it? I finally decided to stop procrastinating someday. Caffeine. Me too. The only substance I am addicted to. I'm down to 1 to 2 cups of coffee a day, but if I don't have any caffeine in the morning I get a terrible headache. Edit. Just going to point out I did not ask for advice on quitting. I enjoy my 1 cup of coffee in the morning and the occasional afternoon coffee. Thanks though. Yes, and if you offered me a magic pill that removes my addiction without a single side effect, I wouldn't take it. Fuck, I love coffee, and it just wouldn't be as good if I didn't need it. Look, I don't take drugs, I don't smoke, I cut sugar out of my life, I don't play video games, I've been with the same partner for over a decade. Let me have this one. Edit. Looks like I struck a nerve with gamers. Sorry, wasn't my intention. I was a gamer for a long time, just not my jam anymore. This is just a silly post about coffee, you do you. Sugar. Whenever mates went for a smoke break, I had my Haribo break. This is no joke. Sugar addiction is real, and the sugar industry has paid for all those foods to be low-fat, to shift the blame of all the health problems that arise from sugary food. Food in general. I'm actually disappointed in the US. It's so obvious poor diet and exercise are killing us, but nobody acts like it's the biggest mental health crisis in the country to stuff ourselves to death. If people are so addicted to eating, they'll continue to eat food that will cause their limbs to be chopped off or go into a coma or die 20 years before they should, or be completely immobilized. It's obviously not just about discipline. However, eating dysfunction isn't even the main thing treated in mental health, and overeating is barely treated within that subspec. It's mostly purging, which, while serious, is not as widespread. To be honest, I think all addiction comes from some genetic, some trauma, and not feeling a purpose or place in the world, but we're not tackling it like that. All I want though is to be treated like it's real. If someone said they're an alcoholic, only a really damaged person would try to get them to drink. But getting someone to stop trying to shove food at you is sometimes impossible. There's a lot of enabling behavior, especially in the office. Me too. I did a sugar detox once, and food I used to eat was too sweet for me, but I ended up building my tolerance right back up. Type 2 diabetes runs in my family though, so I really need to quit for realsy. Yup. I'm overweight, and even though I work out 3 to 5 days a week and eat relatively well during the week, outside of what I'm about to say, I can't make any progress because I'm constantly ruining my progress with sugar binges. What really sucks is how hard it is to find food without a ton of excess sugar dumped in it. I did keto for a while, and looking at labels was eye-opening. I don't do keto anymore, but it would be nice to be able to avoid excess sugar. Diabetes is a bitch. Probably the hardest of drugs and one of the biggest killers too. I'm not joking.